walk around this area of Lyon, right in the peninsula area between the two rivers, the Rhone and the Saône. There's some buses passing behind us, hence it's a bit loud. You might be confused for Paris, because Lyon is a little bit like Paris light. There's not that many crowds. It's much more calmer. The food is amazing though. But the architecture in this area has a look very similar to what we know of the George Eugene Haussmann's Paris that's famous all around the world. So today, let's not walk up any hills in this sweltering heat. Instead, let's walk on nice flat ground, enjoying the beautiful architecture of Lyon, France. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. Welcome everyone to Lyon. Right now we're seeing the area we're going to walk through. 2 days ago we visited Vieux Lyon, which is Old Lyon. This is the old city. This one dates back to ancient Roman times. The ancient Romans were mostly concentrated around here. And then the other day we went up the hill that works. That's the name of this hill, and that's La Croix-Rousse. Today we're going to avoid walking La Croix-Rousse and then walk on nice flat territory. First, let's cross the bridge over to New Lyon, I guess. I'm not sure if anyone calls it New Lyon, but it is the Lyon from late 19th century, early 20th century. And oh my God, all these spider webs. What is this? Why are there so many spiders? Oh, they got cleaned as a bridge. Nice boats passing through, as you saw a ferry passing in the beginning of the video. That was a boat ride we took the other day. First live video I ended up doing in Lyon. So we are right now sandwiched between the two hills. La Croix-Rousse, the hill that works. This is where the Utes used to work and make the finest silks in Europe. This drove the garment industry for Lyon to become the center of it for most of the 1800s. And then right next door is the hill that prays, the Fauvier. There we have the fake Eiffel Tower. That one was built just a few years after the real Eiffel Tower, but it's only a smaller section of it. And behind it we'll see the basilica at some point. So those are the older. This one's the grittier, this one's the older, but we're going to the more elegant, more bourgeois center of Lyon. So right now we should be on the River Saône, and the River Saône was easier to control, and that's why the older settlements were along the River Saône, and then at some point we'll see the River Rhone. Still a lot of water in the river, says Michel. Many rivers all around Europe are drying up, like the Po, Rhine, and Thames. Wow, really, Michelle? Yeah, the water level here seems to be pretty normal. We can kind of see how high the water has been at some points. It has even covered this pathway. See that kind of darker gray color? I would assume that is probably the water line at some point. But it seems like the water is mostly in this green line over here. So it doesn't seem to be changing too much. And yeah, unfortunately France is in drought, so there hasn't been rain in quite a while. Hey, Maureen says good afternoon. Hello, Janice. Hello, ABX girl. Hello, Kay. Hello, Wilmy. Nice to see everyone here. We have urbanists from all around the world tuning in. This was the Passerelle St. Vincent. Beautiful little bridge. Very modern. Marina says, whoop, whoop. Another day in Lyon. Yes, today we're going to the Lyon that looks like Paris. Pretty sturdy. Good. All right, passes the test. Ron, nice to see you here. Welcome. Hello, Janice. ¿Cómo está acá? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at this beautiful turret right over here. Wow. Gruden says, nothing to do in Lyon. What a waste of time. Gruden has said the same thing about Amsterdam, about Rotterdam. Well, that's fair. He said that about, I think it was Leiden, Brussels. Everyone, as they say in the southern part of the United States of America, bless your heart, Gruden. Bless your heart. I disagree. Lyon is pretty awesome. It is calmer, so don't expect the hustle and bustle. This is a calmer version of Paris, basically. But here first we have an amazing mural. Yesterday we saw the mural of the Canuts, which was at La Croix-Rousse. This one commemorates some of the most famous Lyonnese in all of history. Maybe you'll recognize a few faces, especially two brothers. So what are people staring at? Well, we're gonna see. Staring at this gigantic mural. And no, it's not the same one I showed yesterday. This is a different one, showcasing the famous Lyonnese of history. Kay says, bless his little cotton socks. Yeah, that's the UK version, yeah. Susie says, bless your little heart, yeah. Lino says, lovely how the bridge is transparent about its engineering. Yeah, it's very kind of early 1900s style. So this is La Fresque de Lyonnais, the fresca, the beautiful mural of the Lyonnese. Michael Hess says, did you eat well this morning? Yeah, you know, I've been making now breakfast. Oh. Got some Harleys. This is an odd sight in France. I usually don't see Harleys. That's more normal in the US. Michael Hess asked, did you eat well this morning? You know, for the first time in this entire, so far, 2.5 month trip, I am finally making breakfast at wherever I'm staying, and coffee. So I'm not really eating out for breakfast. So it's eggs and ham and some fresh little cherry tomatoes. The produce here is really amazing, so the tomatoes taste delicious, and great coffee too. So let's see who we can recognize. They have a huge list. We'll show you the list first later. First, let's go to this guy. Who is this guy? If you see my previous broadcasts, we talked about him. He was an idol of Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain loved him, and Anthony Bourdain had the great pleasure of actually featuring him in the episode he did of Lyon. Only a few short years before he passed in his early 90s, so he lived quite a long life. This man is one of the most famous chefs in world history. This man revolutionized what is called Nouveau French cuisine. So the French cuisine that spread all around the world, you can thank him among a few others. This is not Chef Boyardee, Mike, but I would have no doubt that Chef Boyardee has some inspiration from this guy, because he loved to wear his hat in any occasion. He wore it all the time. This is Paul Bocuse. Right here. Paul Bocuse. It's in front of what appears to be one of his restaurants, Le Pot Beaujolais. Haven't been to that one yet. Haven't seen it yet. Before Bocuse, overcooking vegetables was common, says Lino. Yeah, overcooking vegetables, and also over-condimenting fish. So he was one of the ones who really tried to spread the practice of cooking fish correctly without relying on over-condimentation. Apparently he later in life ended up being really blown away by the Japanese and how they prepared fish. So it was an inspiration for him as well. So this guy ended up training some of the best chefs that we have now today, along with the likes of Dennis Boulud as well, who is very famous in New York City. Love the dog in the mural. Yeah, Marina, yeah. There's 2 cups of wine. 1994 vintage. We have a what they make look like a real poster. It kind of looks like a real poster. It's really cool. This guy, I don't know who this guy is, but apparently he was a local gourmand. I think he was in the government, the local government. This guy apparently visited all the restaurants and was frequent at many of Bocuse restaurants. So a gourmand is someone who likes to enjoy the food scene, and there's many gourmands in this city. Lino says this is so well painted. Oh yes, it is. Here we have something more modern. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Let's see. Seems like it's a painting store. That's interesting. A paint store. That's very kind of meta. But let's go a little bit further up. Who are these guys? Let me know. Hint, they're showcasing a motion picture. Sebastian says, what languages do they speak in Lyon? Lyon is French. Almost the entire France. There might be just a region or two that has a little bit more other languages, but almost all of France is French. And Lyon is no exception. Yeah, hi, that is right. That's the Lumiere brothers. These guys invented film. Film is one of those odd inventions that was invented in two different places at the same time. So Thomas Edison also is credited with inventing film over there in New Jersey. But these guys invented film here in Lyon, and they revolutionized the film industry. They kickstarted the film industry here in Lyon, later France, and became the main producers for basically the entire film industry in its early heyday for all of Europe. So these brothers, along with their father, owned a photography company where they would make plates. So photography would require a plate, and then you would like print on the plate. Someone can maybe explain it a little bit better, but they were going through hard times. They couldn't sell enough plates, and they weren't making enough money. So the the brothers wanted to innovate. So they came up with an idea. What if we show concurrent images, or repeated one after the other? So 24 frames per second ended up being the one that we know all today. This video today is 30 frames per second, so 30 photos shown concurrently. They convinced their father to invest in this new invention, and it became motion pictures as we know today. And the first movie shot in Europe was shot here in Lyon at their actual factory. So let me show it to you. So right over here, let me pop it up. So this was shot in their actual factory, which is on the other side of the Rhone River. So the opposite side of the city where we're at right now. And you can see their actual factory workers who made those first film plates and film equipment. They're exiting the factory. There's a lot of other characters here. There's one of the guys who started marionettes here. That marionette is apparently very famous in France. But here, this guy is very famous all around the world. It's the writer of The Little Prince with the Little Prince himself. It's a world famous book. And let's go around. Oh, I love this. Another bistro. Look at this. Oh, that's really cool. A gastronomie lyonnaise. Oh, that's awesome. So here we have the famous cold cuts that's famous in Lyon. Well, we ate yesterday the pork pie that they make here. Goes by a different name, of course. Cacao, used in a lot of desserts here in Lyon. We got the different breads. And oh my god, this person is drinking badoua, the sparkling water that I really enjoy. That's so cool. That's awesome. And this guy over here. This guy's Jacquard, J.M. Jacquard, the one who innovated the loom and they enabled the entire industry of Lyon to become the center of silk in Europe because of this guy. And he also innovated what would eventually become computers because of his punch card system. Yep. Textile technology end up making computers. And I don't know too much about this filmmaker. This filmmaker is a Lyonnese filmmaker, made a lot of French films. Morgan says, I'm in love with this mural. Me too. And look at this. Just a little bonus for anyone who goes back of the mural. We see someone actually painting the mural. Oh, that's a little cool little collage of different images. That's awesome. And here we have a beautiful little mini mural of the Lyon cityscape. Wow. That's amazing. All right, let's go across the street and see it better before we continue walking through. So people are getting confused by the title. No, we are not in Paris. We are in the Lyon that looks like Paris. Right here, one more time. Yeah, it's a big mural, so it scales the entire building. It even has a fake mansard roof on top. All right, let's continue walking through here in Lyon. Whew, it's hot. Susie asks, why doesn't someone do that in New York City? So these murals, the one we saw yesterday, this one, and there's another one here. The reason no one does it in New York City, well, it's because these murals here were actually paid by the government. They were commissioned by the local government, as far as I know. So I think New York has to start commissioning artists to do more educational murals. That would be nice. We have some bare walls that would be perfect. For example, the one in Soho, on Broadway and Lafayette, the intersection has an amazing bare wall that would make a great mural. This is the sorry, not the boulangerie. This is the bouchon I went to yesterday. Le bouchon des filles. The bouchon of the girls. Yeah. It was an incredible deal. It's in the Michelin Guide. Beautiful little place, very packed seating. And here's a perspective of how the prices are. 30 euro, you end up getting 3 courses. But the thing is, this was even more courses because they gave me like 3 salads, 1 main course, cheese, and dessert. So it ended up being more like a 5-6 course meal. And it was only 30 euro, plus I got wine and I got some water, and it cost a little bit more. But yeah, great deal. So let me pop up a few images. Let me know if anyone wants to see a few images of what I ate yesterday. I'll show all of you. So this was the inside of the restaurant. Oh, that was meant to be a quick shot. That was dessert right there. That was an amazing lemon curd with cocoa, chocolate crisps, some fresh panna cotta. Oh my god, it was so good. But let's go to the main course first. Here it is. So I ended up having 2 salads right here. It was a beautiful salad. They make great salads here in Lyon. If you're not a fan of salad, try the salads in Lyon. Trust me, they'll convince you. Because they make them with bacon and fatty meats. And then I ordered a pot of wine. That's what they call it. That's like maybe 3 glasses of wine. Really good. And they'll only cost me about 11 euro for those 3 glasses of wine. And then later on, I had the quenelle. This was a different quenelle. This quenelle is a creamed fish, but this one was made with a different type of fish. The name is a rouge maison, but this one was a bit breadier, which is it was a bit more kind of a fancier type of quenelle. Then they gave me this. It was like a extra mid dish. It was like an interlude. It was zucchini cream. It actually tasted really good and really refreshing. And then the dessert, which I just showed, and some coffee as well. They even gave me a praline cookie with my coffee right there. So yeah, I recommend this place. I end up getting reservations. I mean, not reservations. I end up getting a table. Very lucky because I came right when it opened. And they said, oh, if you're okay eating until 9 p.m., you'll have to vacate the table. And of course, 2 hours was more than enough time. So do make reservations, but delicious. Let's continue walking through. Mike says, I just finished a tuna sandwich with queso. That's a good combination. I mean, queso, you mean like liquid cheese? That's great. Nothing beats a good tuna sandwich. Wendy says, did you get tipsy? No, not really. It's a lot of food. It's hard to get tipsy with that much food. At least in my personal body composition.
déranger, je suis ouais, je suis
Oh,
vraiment
pardon,
désolé.
no, no.
Have you just on the road to eat? I am
So sorry, man. Sorry. All right. I had a good swig of water. There's one downside. The very few people who do ask for money, they tend to be a bit more forceful. So, yeah, we recommend really strongly saying no because that guy went away immediately from me, but he went to another guy and kept haggling him. So, yeah, unfortunately, here they're a little bit more forceful, but it's very few people asking for money. Hyde says it was a drug query, maybe, yeah. Here we have the back sides of the buildings. Look at that. Susie says, I'm glad he didn't grab your phone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, trust me. I was looking. I always hold on to my bag and phone whenever I see someone approach me. Colleen says, Ariel, you're very good at handling situations. You know, in New York, New York is good training ground for anyone because there's a lot of people. You know, like New York, walking around the streets, a lot of people are trying to get your attention, just like a normal person. It gets sometimes a bit annoying, but you learn how to deal with people randomly on the street when being in New York City. Asking for money, asking for your time, asking for directions, asking for God knows what. Right here, there we go. We found the public plaza. Hyde says that almost everyone went to the beach today. Yeah, like all of August. I don't think anyone stays in French cities in August. is in Nice or Toulouse. What is the other French Riviera cities? Do let me know. Oh, look, here we have a Boston Tavern. Nice to see American representation here in Lyon. Connie says, is Paris also deserted this time of year? Yeah, it is. So Paris is deserted this time of year. Of course, Paris is a premier tourist destination. So unlike Lyon, here are the tourists of Lyon. Paris, if you go to the Eiffel Tower, you go to the Louvre, packed. So many tourists because it's still peak tourist season. But once you go outside to the normal streets where everyday Parisians live, especially if you go more to the residential neighborhoods, it's going to be really empty. Paris is also pretty dead in August. If you're looking to have a culinary adventure and you're trying to want to try the best boulangeries and brasseries and bouchons here in Lyon or Paris, I would recommend not going in August. Go any other time of year, just not in August. There's almost no boulangeries, bakeries open. So that's why I'm making breakfast at home. Otherwise I would eat my daily croissant in the morning. This is a gorgeous sculpture. Wow. Is this who I think it is? Is this supposed to be Boudica? Maybe? Connie says, thank you. I will be there again in September. Now I know I'm not missing anything new. I'll stay in the US air-conditioned house. Yeah, also September will probably be cooler, yeah. August, you're gonna have a hot France with everything closed. So, if you want to chill out, don't care too much about the food, then come during August. Otherwise, not the best. Hyde says, maybe some Greek goddess? Yeah. Let us know. Couldn't find any information on this one. It's a magnificent fountain, really breathtaking. Love how it's all integrated with the horses and everything. Wow. Mike says this is Ben Hur. H-E-R. That's a good one. So it could be Boudica. It could also be some type of goddess. Lino says there's a body positivity sculpture. So Lino, actually the female figure we're seeing right here on top, pretty much the ideal female figure for centuries. Maybe if not 2 millennia. For 2,000 years or more, that was the ideal female figure. The concept of being very ultra lean, for a woman at least, ultra lean, is pretty new. It's pretty modern. At least here in the Western world. Let me know if any other parts of the world is different. But yeah, that concept of very lean women is something that pretty much came about in the 1950s. Thank you, Miss Alop. So found out what the statue is. She says, this fountain depicts France as a female seated on a chariot. Ah, this is a depiction of France. I love this. France, yeah, good-looking woman. I always knew France would be a good-looking woman. Botticelli, who made this fountain. Wow. Oh my, this is a Botticelli. So if you don't know who Botticelli is, ladies and gentlemen, he's the guy who made one of the greatest statues in American history, the Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty herself. He made also this fountain. Interesting. Lady Liberty almost has a... This one, it feels more kind of vivid than Lady Liberty. This is so interesting. Wouldn't have imagined this to be his style. It's like comparing an ancient Greek sculptor, which Lady Liberty is more like ancient Greek sculpture, very regal, stiff, or you can maybe use a different word, strong stance. But this one's more vivid. This is more like a Bernini. It's in mid-action. Wow. And look at all the amazing buildings here. Oh, that felt good. I'll do the other hand. Everyone slam that like button right now. Today we're getting more viewers. Lyon is not really searched for too often, so slam that like button to bring this to the attention of people who could use it. Nobu is tuning in. Nobu is tuning in from the south of France, trying to evade the horde of tourists, trying to invade his home. I hope you're doing okay amidst the constant barrage of Parisians and Lyonnese and Normandys and Bretons coming into your home, Nobu. Wow. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hôtel de Ville, which doesn't mean it's a hotel, despite the same name. It's City Hall. This is the old City Hall. Do you ever wonder why these doors are so big? That's a good question. There might be a practical purpose to them, that's for sure. Of course, there's a decorative purpose, and there's the purpose of, especially this being City Hall, to make it seem like the doors are open. You know, it's open to the public. That's definitely a symbolic meaning for it. Ron says, any ghost stories? Ron, you know, I tried finding haunted history here in Lyon. The French are not really a country that talks about haunted history. You know, the more I travel, the more I realize that Americans are pretty unique in that regard. And a handful of other areas of the world like Puerto Rico or England, the UK in general, Ireland too. Yeah, outside of those English-speaking areas and a few other Spanish-speaking areas, there's not that much haunted history. Not in France. Italy had a few others. They had a few haunted histories. So Italy was one of the few countries I encountered that had haunted history. But Netherlands, the Dutch did not have. Swedes did not have. Danes did not have. I couldn't find really anything. Brussels. Very curious as to why. Renee says there is a French ghost hunter. He resides in the countryside. Oh, interesting. Susie says, let's have a live seance. Mike says St. Augustine, Florida has ghost stories. Yeah, ghost tours and ghost stories are very common in the US. David says you're going to try some snails. Oh, David. Who in the world eats snails, David? What is that? Oh my God, David. What a suggestion. Oh. David, I think only tourists from America eat snails. I'm joking, of course. I have eaten a lot of snails. You know, snails are from nearby. Yeah, they are from Burgundy. There's the snail country is right next door. I haven't had too many snails. It doesn't seem here as common as it is in Paris, but they are here, and should be fresher than in Paris. They have to travel a little bit less miles to get here. So let me drink some more water. I'm very, very, very thirsty. And then we'll continue walking. I'm just going to show you the opera, and hopefully we can maybe get into the opera and show the rooftop. Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah, David, if you want to see snails, watch my France broadcast. I think I featured them in one video. And I have a few short videos on TikTok, Ariel Vieira, with snails as well. Susie says, I like how your cap always seems to match your shirts. Oh, yes. Al says, this looks like New York City Hall. Yeah, you know, that is a good observation, Al. They were built around the same time. New York City Hall is not as ostentatious as this one, but definitely they derive from the same styles. And here, ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Opera. There's been many iterations of the operas throughout the past 2 centuries or so. I think this one might be the 6th or 7th. And this one has a huge expansion made by Jean Nouveau. He's very famous for making a beautiful new skyscraper in New York City. 53 W53, I think it is. He made in New York. Wendy says, where's the other delightful hat? Oh, Wendy was so kind enough to sponsor a hat last year. That hat from Capri is still in New York City. It's in my closet. I only needed a hat until now. It was pretty cool and chill weather the past 2 months I've been traveling. Here's the other side of City Hall. Wow. Really beautiful. I wish I could go in. Look at that courtyard. Teacup says, you're so full of information. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying the teacup punk. Maria says, once I heard tourists order ketchup with their escargot. Oh no, that does not sound like a good combination. Lino says, I do like the sauce that escargot comes in. Yes, it is great sauce actually. Like even if you don't like escargot, the sauce itself is great to put on the bread. Scott says, how's the food in Lyon? It is among the best food I've had in Europe, especially this trip. Up there with Italy, and in my opinion, also the UK, specifically London and parts of northern Scotland. Great food. Great food. Also Ireland had great food, but when it comes to unique culinary cultures, Lyon is up there with Tuscany in Italy. It is really exceptional food that you'll find here. really unique dishes. The Lyonese cuisine is not that common in the rest of France. You might not find it so easily in Paris. And it is definitely better than your normal Parisian cuisine. The Lyonese, it's a lot easier here to find excellent food. Renee says haunt is haunted in French. Hey Renee, thank you so much for the 1,900 Chilean pesos. I appreciate you. Teacup says, hence the need for stretchy pants. Exactly. You got the hint correctly. All right, let me see if I can get in. Wish me luck. Bonjour. Is it possible to go upstairs? Oh.
C'est au 7e.
Merci beaucoup. 7. Here's the inside. Oh, cool. Chris, hey, nice to see you here for the $5. Lino says also in Dijon, extremely high baseline for food. Yeah, Dijon is so nearby. I'm very tempted to go. Oh, it seems like the interior is maybe made by Jean Nouveau. All right, wow. Wow. So there's the hill, La Croix-Rousse, which we explored yesterday. It's a bit hot to have drinks, so let me show you more of the views.
Ouais, c'est stylé, mais après, je trouve que là, on se fait de bien, mais je crois que c'est un peu là, si jamais il va se dénouer. Le rooftop, on va pouvoir revoir 3-4 cheminées qui se battent en duel.
Comment va Applause Squid, please? Ok. C'est pas
Je connais pas. Les lumières qui ont fait
Do you want some water with it?
Yeah, some water.
La basilique, c'est pas Notre-Dame, je te l'ai dit, ouais.
All right, everyone. It's a postcard view, says Chris. Oh yes, definitely is. What district are you in? So we are in the first arrondissement. So let me point the camera, and I'll show you more where we're at. We're in the first arrondissement. So this is the main arrondissement, which is a neighborhood. No, actually, yeah, we should be in the first, and then later on we might walk into the second. But we should be in the first, either first or second at the moment. Yesterday we were in the fourth, and then the other day where we visited the basilica was on the ninth. And for perspective, this is where Lyon is in France. So you can see it's not quite in dead center, but this is kind of the central of France culturally. It kind of ties between both cultures, the south of France, which can skew a little bit more Italian, sometimes a little bit more Spanish, and then north of France that definitely has some Celtic influences, and of course the very metropolitan Paris. Merci beaucoup.
Faites un vlog?
Well, yeah, vlog. Yeah, I do live videos around the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel?
YouTube, yeah. It's called Urbanist Exploring Cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the name of the channel?
Urbanist.
Urbanist?
Urbanist.
I will check that.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah. You want to say hi?
No,
No, okay.
thanks.
Beautiful view. What do you recommend in Lyon? What's the best thing in Lyon?
It's a good idea to come here.
Yes, definitely.
And after you can go to La Croix-Rousse.
Oh yes,
That's
yes.
the road you have just here. You have a beautiful view.
View, yeah.
And after that, you can go straight to the Place Bellecour.
Oh, Bellecour. Okay.
Yes, you just have to go straight, and you will see it's the biggest place in France. So it's nice.
Oh, it's the biggest plaza in France.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
And after that, you can go on this side.
Yeah.
You have Basilique Fourvière.
Yes.
Yes, that's the monument of the city.
I
It's the biggest monument
went
of the
2
city.
days ago. It was really beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's the best bouchon in your opinion?
I don't eat bouchon.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Because I don't eat pork.
Oh, you don't eat pork? Okay, best. Oh,
But
tell me what's the best halal or Lebanese?
Okay.
I'm very curious.
Let me think about
Yeah,
that, and
that'd be
I
awesome.
will tell you that.
Great, thank you so much.
Just, how do you like to pay?
Oh yeah, I'll pay via card. Sorry.
On the ticket?
Yes, please. Merci beaucoup. All right, cool guy. Doesn't eat too much of bouchons because he doesn't eat pork. So, yeah, heads up if you're a vegetarian, vegan, or if you go by Islamic rules or kosher rules, you might have a hard time in bouchons, unfortunately. Bouchons, the eateries of Lyon, really use a lot of pork fat in a lot of their dishes. Even the salads. I mean, even the salads are made with pork. So, yeah, it's a bit tough. But there is some Lebanese places here, that's why I asked. All right, so join me for Aperol Spritz, and then we're gonna continue walking around beautiful Lyon. He mentions the Bellecour, which is the largest plaza in France, which I will show it to you, because as we start going further into this little peninsula, we'll start looking even more like Paris. It's already starting to look like that with these buildings around us. So cheers. And this costs a total of $8.50. Okay. Oh my god, you guys found it. Nice. Why is that? You enjoyed it? What's your favorite thing of Lyon?
I don't understand.
What?
I don't understand.
Oh, you don't understand? No, no worries. So AP boy, nice to see you here. Oh, there we go. AP boy is the guy right next door. Adam says, I follow kosher law. Yeah, if you're kosher, you might have a tough time. But there might be a kosher bouchon. There's no vegan bouchons as far as I know. There might be a kosher one. I'm not sure if there's any halal bouchons. Maybe. Janet says, I had an Aperol Spritz. I had Aperol Spritz. I found it too strong at Italy. Really? Yeah, it's interesting. You're not the first person to say that. I got that message from someone else who said that the bouchon, the Aperol Spritz was too strong. I'm not sure why that might be the case. Some places don't make it good. I'm sad to hear Italy made it too strong. It's going to taste bitter. It's not going to be sweet because Aperol is more kind of citrusy. So it's not going to be that sweet, but it should be refreshing. Oh. Chris says how crazy it is. Yeah, well, I mentioned the name to the waiter, that's why. EP Bro, he says, can you speak French? No parlez-vous français? No parlez-vous français? No, no. Chin chin. What was the reason you wouldn't visit Spain again, says Putas? I won't visit Spain again. It's just I did not have the best experience in Madrid. So it's not that I don't want to visit Spain. Actually, I'm very curious about Seville, Barcelona. Yeah.
Can I take a picture with you after?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. You like viewing YouTube? You like YouTube? Yeah. What's your favorite vlogger?
That's you.
Me? Yeah, nice. Great. Wendy says, what did you pay for the drink? It was €8.50, which is a good price for up here. Morgan says, hit the like button. Yes, please. You so. What? Listen. Susan says, my postcard was such a hit. Yes, I'm so glad. It has its own display place in the living room. That's amazing. So if you heard that, that was not a old jingle from old Christianity back in the 1400s. What song was that? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yes. Let me know what song that is. They played that song. Seven Nation Army. That was Seven Nation Army. That's crazy. Seven Nation Army. The Basilica. Somehow one of the priests is a fan of that band. They enjoyed the live stream. ¿Qué significan esas campanas? So, esas campanas yo creo que era la basílica y estaban tocando una canción que se llama Seven Nation Army, que es una canción moderna, hace como 20 años viejo. So yeah, those jingles were Seven Nation Army. It was a new song. Morgan says, I'm going to find them. All Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. Yes. It's a White Stripes. Thank you so much, Chris. That's the name of the band. Puta says, I love Sevilla y Valencia. Oh yes, and Andalusia I would love to. I'm curious about Andalusia too. Ooh. Wow, it's crazy hot. Santander is nice, I heard. Ah, yeah, Janice, yeah. I know the Westminster chime, says Miss Lob. Yeah, that definitely ate it. Yeah. That priest over there is a fan of the White Stripes. George is still snoozing, yeah, indeed. Alright. So feel free to ask me anything. Let me show you more of the, we see mountains there. Joseph says, what's the name of where you are? This is the opera, the Grand Opera of Lyon. It might have a more specific name, but yeah, it's the Grand Opera. A few of these big French cities have a big opera. Similar to Italy. Italy, yeah, the operas weren't as big in Italy, so they're bigger here. Because the Roman opera was in a very small location. Adam says, I love the views you get from the top. Yes, that's true. And Teacup, are you folding laundry and watching? That's amazing. Can we see the statues? Yes, you can. Susie says, what did you order? I ordered just the Aperol Spritz, nothing more. Look at that, wow. And DS says it has an Assassin's Creed feel. Yes, so there is one Assassin's Creed video game that takes place in Paris. It wasn't my favorite one. I think it was Syndicate. No, it was not Syndicate. It went by a different name. But yeah, there is an Assassin's Creed that takes place in Paris, but I don't think there's one in Lyon. Mika says, yeah, I just ordered a Spritz. That was it. Oh, that was so good. For the road. Kay says, what's the green on your hand? Uh-oh, okay. You caught me green-handed. It's for a very special reason. Susan just mentioned that she's the talk of the town because of all the postcards I've been sending. Postcards. Right there. I wrote them in green this time around, that's why.
Ah bah c'est quelque chose. Hein.
Over there. My what? Oh, yeah, there was some hip hop music, so the Tunisha says we need to hear the elevator. So the guy was so kind enough to give me a list of recommendations. Look at that, wow. The waiter, that is. He was a very nice guy. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. So yeah, the guy was so kind enough to leave me a list of recommendations. Let's see what he recommended. La Pence de la Croix-Rousse. La Plateau de la Croix-Rousse. Also, he recommended La Croix-Rousse, which I already went to. Place Thenai. I'm not sure what Place Thenai is. Probably one of the plazas. Another plaza over here. And Quai de la Saône. Let me know what Quai de la Saône is. Is that one of the areas by the river, maybe? Interesting recommendations. Cool. Oh yeah, and the trio of guys yesterday, upstairs wanted to take a Snapchat. Qué simpáticos los franceses son amables. No creo que esos tres muchachos estaban tan simpáticos. I don't think those three gentlemen were being friendly. That's why I bolted after I saw them taking a Snapchat. I was like, all right, bye. But the waiter was very friendly. That's true. David says you won't find the McDonald's around here, David. Oh, David. We shall go for the challenge of finding a McDonald's here. Here's the metro stop, the Hotel de Ville, the MA, the MC. Susie says, what were those boys doing? They were giggling the entire time. The entire time. Like it was a lot of giggling. Here's one of the many buses. Cool thing about the buses, they're similar to London. They kind of wiggle around the city. So in New York, all the buses always go in like a straight lines. And it's a bit annoying because you don't always get to where you want to go taking a New York City bus. But here, it's a bit easier. Susie, indeed. Indeed, Susie. We're definitely past the age of constant giggling, that's for sure. Christine says nobody needs a McDonald's. It is a French delicacy. It's the bouchon de McDonald. Mike says there's no Firehouse subs. It's funny, there is 2 or 3 American sandwich shops here that do indeed sell a Firehouse sub. And there is a McDonald's. There's a few McDonald's actually. We haven't seen them yet, but there are a few. So right in front of us, we have a Starbucks and we have a Le Pret a Manger right next door. Puta says you don't get a lot of giggles in New York. No, no, you don't. No, that's much more rare. Susie says you'll never find a Big Apple donut here. Oh, Susie, you're in for a treat. Because we're going to the Krispy Kreme of Lyon. Michelle says this looks more like it, less graffiti. Yep. Now we're entering the place that looks more like the middle of Paris. Evelyn pregunta, ¿este es tu último lugar a visitar o vas a ir a más sitios? El próximo semana va a ser un sitio diferente, pero Francia es el último país. So, yes, I'm going to more places around France. Next week will be a different place in France. But France will be the last country I'm covering. So I'll be in France for the rest of the trip. Chris says we need to open up a California burrito place. That would be amazing. There's a few burrito places, but yeah, burritos here are not good. The French can do burgers amazingly well. I mean, burgers here, oh, there we go. We found it. Speaking of great French burgers, right here. McDonald's. Marseille, says Robert. Yes, indeed. Michelle says, a pity, so much countries. Michelle, so it's a great question. It's good to not overwhelm yourself when traveling. It's very easy to fall into the trap of constantly seeking novelty when you're traveling and trying to cross off things on the checklist. that could be fun on its own, and there's definitely some YouTubers that do an excellent job in showing that, and there's just people who just travel for their own pleasure that do a great job of going to a lot of countries. But it's not always the best way to travel. Sometimes you do have to immerse yourself into a country to truly enjoy it. I spent 1 entire month and a week, so almost 5 weeks in Ireland. And it was one of the best decisions of my life. Ireland is a tiny little country. It was one of the best decisions of my life to be fully immersed into a country. So it is not a shame. It is a great decision. And I commend anyone who takes their time in the country, because there is no rush in our lives. There's this sense, especially in America, we have this sense of, Michelle, I'm not saying that you specifically, but I've noticed this from my fellow Americans. We feel the rush. We feel like we need to do everything now. Everything. It's a bit of traveling with a bit of anxiety that we gotta experience everything. Everything has to be experienced all at the same time. But no, it doesn't. It's good to take your time. Don't worry, life is long. If you live like life is short, then it's going to feel short. If you live like life is long, it's going to feel long, and that could be a good thing. So that's why I'm in France for about a month more. Janice says immersion is good. Yes. Hyde says you can't do Europe in 3 days, as some American dude said to me in the Danish train once. That's funny. Yes, Europe in 3 days. Yeah, exactly. Heinz says France is a condensed powerhouse of culture. Indeed it is. Yeah, France is pretty, it's a huge country. It's the size of Texas. And there's definitely a lot of cultures packed into. There's local culture. So Lyon has its own unique flavor compared to the rest of, compared to Paris, for example. Right now we're in the area that looks like Paris, but compared to Paris, it has its own unique flavor. Life is too short to rush it. Ah, that's a good quote, Susan. Susan wrote that on Twitch. Thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate that. That's a great quote. Are you planning to visit the food markets? Putas. I already showed the Lyon of Paul Bocuse. So I showed one food market thus far. So check out the end of that video. Other food markets, they tend to be open pretty early, so I don't show them. Barb says, are French people friendly? Yes. Wow, this is a gorgeous building. What is this? We gotta cross over here now. This is amazing. Look at this. Wendy says, any parks here? Yeah, there's a big park, but it's more on the outside of the city. Wow. Mike says you can hear the birds. Oh yes. Look at that. So this is an art museum. These ones are tough to film, but I'll show you from the front. August Isaac. Tanya says one day you should have a giveaway and bring one of your urbanists on an adventure with you. Maria says, ooh, a 16 Chapel exhibition at the museum. Yeah, yeah. Robert says, I'll drink there. Yeah, it's a very nice restaurant. I love the fronts of many of these restaurants. Some of them are so charming, like here. We got a bouchon. Adam says, I'll talk to you later. Adam, thank you so much for tuning in. We got one more stop. We're heading to the largest square. Let's go. That's amazing. Ooh, I see an open church. Wendy says, oh my, let's go, yeah. Basilique? Huh. Why does it say it's a basilica? That's interesting. All right.
Jésus-Christ confie à l'Église la dose de la parole contre le complot de l'esprit de l'ennemi.
Wow, beautiful church inside there. I recommend it. So this is the beautiful area right here. We're almost reaching an end because the rest ends up dividing by a huge road. Well, let me show you this building one more time. Look at that. Perry says stay indoors. I think I might pay a visit to this museum. I think this is a perfect place to end. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. This was a little bit of Lyon that looks like Paris. A lot of the buildings that we're continuing on look very similar to this one. And there's more shopping areas here. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. If you want to see a bonus video of the Miniatures Museum, the movie sets museum, I actually ended up recording a bonus video. You can become a patron. Patreon.com/urbanist or pressing that join button on YouTube. Pressing that join button or going to patreon.com/urbanist and have postcards right in my backpack, which I'll be sending to Mega Urbanists. Contribute $20 or more on either platform. And as Susan mentioned in Twitch, she's the talk of the town because of the postcards. I have a few others that use the postcards to show off to friends. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a beautiful church, beautiful part of the city. This was Lyon. Next week, actually I have a announcement. Next week, there will be no schedule. Why? I'm going to a place in France in which it may be a bit difficult to live stream. Bring your layers. Pro tip. I won't tell you where yet. You gotta stay tuned. But you gotta bring some layers. And I won't be going on schedule. So next week there will be no schedule. But I'll be doing as far as I can, service permitting, I'll be doing short mini live videos. So crossing fingers. And it's also a place in France where I cannot stay out beyond really 5 p.m. It's not really that advisable. So in terms of the remoteness, not in terms of danger, it's a safe area, but in terms of remoteness, probably not the best place to stay in the evening. So stay tuned everyone. We'll be going off to a new place, bring some layers. See you next week at random times. Thursday through Saturday, I'll be doing mini live videos throughout those days. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. From here in Lyon, beautiful Lyon, great place to visit. Have a great day everyone. Au revoir mes amis.